What on earth is this, you might say? It's a 2002 Suzuki DRZ 400 that I've had since 2006. This will be my 14th season riding it. I haven't had it running since last fall when I put it away for the winter. And it needs a little TLC to get it ready to ride this year. First thing I need to do is clean out the air box. About the time I put it away for the fall, I took the air cleaner out and cleaned it, and it's a washable style air cleaner, and I didn't put it back in. I let it dry and then just parked the bike. It's kind of nasty inside. It's also got an oil leak down here where the stator wiring comes out. That's really about all it needs. Maybe a clean and lube of the chain and put some fresh gas in it, and we should be good to go. It doesn't have much gas in it right now. It's down to about there. Really low. I remember the last time I rode it, July of last summer, I actually had to put it on reserve as I was going down the highway, and I think I even had to stop because it started to flame out on me on reserve. Pretty sure I had to stop and tip the bike over and slosh more gas over to this side of the tank. So that's about it. It's been a pretty reliable bike. I only had two issues with it. And one of them was the stator. Charging system is what the stator is. It failed on me and stopped charging the battery. And the person that I had to do the work on it, they put an aftermarket stator in, and it doesn't have a very good little rubber seal around where the wires come through the case. So that's exactly why it's leaking. And the big thing on these early DRZs was everybody preached put a manual cam chain tensioner in them. They used to say that the automatic cam chain tensioner would fail. I don't know that I've ever heard of one fail. It's just chatter on the internet. That's what people said to do, so that's what I did. And I don't think I adjusted it right. I'm pretty sure that for 6 or 8 years or whatever, probably more like, I'd say at least 7 years, I probably ran that cam chain a little bit loose. And one time, I think it was in 2013, I was riding with some friends, and they said, you know, your bike's making a lot of noise. I used to wear earplugs, so any engine noise, it wasn't really too perceptible to me. So they kept saying, yeah, that cam chain sounds really noisy. So I left it with that same mechanic friend that did the stator. I left it at his house. He worked on bikes out of his house after he sold his shop. And he took it apart, found that the valves were really dirty, the top of the piston was really dirty. And prior to taking it apart, I think he had the valve covers off. And he was rotating the engine over, and he actually had me there at his house to show me. So that might have been 2012. Anyway, so during the process of him showing it to me, rotating the engine over, it crapped out. The cam chain skipped a tooth on the sprocket. So had that happened while I was riding it, it would have probably wrecked the entire top end of the motor. Probably the piston too, because valves would have hit the piston. So anyway, he got that all fixed up for me, and it's been running flawless ever since. What he did to it when he replaced the cam chain was put a new automatic cam chain tensioner back in. I said, go ahead and do that and get rid of that manual cam chain tensioner. So that's been, I can't remember for sure if it was 2012 or 2013. No, it was 2012, because that summer I had another bike which I ended up riding a lot. It was a KTM 500 EXC. I eventually sold that bike because after I moved to a different location where I wasn't doing as much riding, I couldn't see the point in having two bikes that were fairly similar in capabilities when I was hardly riding either one of them. So it just made more sense to sell the KTM and keep the DRZ. So that's where we're at today. Last year I put new bodywork on it. My radiator shrouds were pretty much falling off. They had pulled through this mounting point. This mounting point goes to the radiator guard, and so they kind of flopped around a little bit. This is some aftermarket bodywork that I found on eBay, and then I took the body panels to a graphic shop and had the guy do a custom snow style camouflage wrap on all the body panels. So rear fender, side panel, airbox cover, both radiator shrouds, and then also the kind of hard to see it, but the front fender over here. So I've got some activities that are going to be coming up here fairly soon with riding, so I need to get her in shape and ready to go for the season.